Welcome. I'd like to talk to you a bit today about the key elements in Standing Pilates. Slightly different to that of normal or mat work Pilates, because obviously we are in standing. So I'd like to start with our posture, and we're going to work from our feet upwards. So with regards to our feet, we have three arches. We have the longitudinal outer arch, we have the longitudinal inner arch, and we also have the transverse arch, which runs across the metatarsals through the middle of our foot. So if we can just for a moment bring our feet apart, so they're hip distance apart, and then I'd like you just to roll to the outside of the arch of your foot, so just feeling the movement from the ankles, and then we're going to roll our ankles towards the inside, and we're going to explore the gap underneath us as we do that. So just feeling the pressure releasing and increasing on the outer and the inner arch of the foot. And then we're just going to find a point in the middle where we can feel perhaps a small silk scarf underneath us, or a tiny ladybird, so we can just feel the arch lifting underneath the central arch. A better way of actually feeling the weight transferring is to bring your hands down by your side, keeping your head nice and still. We're just going to move forward towards the front of our foot, taking the weight to the ball of the foot, feeling the pressure through the inner arch releasing, and then as we move back, we should feel the weight going back into our heels. And we can also do this by moving sideways. So just moving towards the outside arch of the foot, through the inside, over to the other foot, feeling that weight distributing nicely. So your points really here are to find the center points between the front, the back, and the side of each foot, so you can feel perfectly balanced as if you're standing on a seesaw. So that's quite important. So working our way up, we keep our knees nice and soft. We're then going to focus on the lengthening through the crown of the head. So I want you to imagine a helium balloon, just floating your chin slightly in towards your throat, and feeling that balloon lifting your head gently upwards. And as you do so, imagine you have a coat hanger in your shoulders, keeping your shoulders open so you can feel the width across your collarbones, but loosening that collarbone down so you can feel the broadening through the back of the shoulders. And again, nice way to do this is to perhaps just think about lifting, sliding your shoulder blades up towards your ears and gliding them down, so you can feel the movement through your shoulders without lifting your head up and down, and then finding that position where they feel nice and soft in the lowest point across the chest. So that's our shoulder and our neck placement. Moving on now to our rib cage. Our rib cage placement is very important for Pilates. We need to make sure that we're breathing in and out in the right way, and this does take a lot of practice. So what I'd like you to do now is to just, without deepening your breath or changing the pattern, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and just do this for half a minute to a minute, just noticing where you're breathing in and where you feel the movement as you breathe out. Then I'd like to place your hands on your rib cage, so flattening the outside of the palm of the hand against the ribs. And as you breathe in this time, just see if you can expand into the side of your hands as if you have a balloon underneath each rib. So you can feel the broadening around the upper back into the palms of the hands. And perhaps as you breathe out, you can feel your rib cage is actually coming in. And breathe out, breathing in again, and breathing out, feeling that breath softening down between your rib cage towards the center of your body. So that's our rib cage placement. Now moving our hands onto the heel of our hips, so the axis of our pelvis, the bony part of your hips. If you can bring your hands in, so we're now going to think about our centering. Not so much through our core muscles just yet, but we're thinking about our pelvic posture. So we're going to center those points. So the hip bones and the pubic bone, imagine you have a triangle, and that triangle is equal in all sides. So we want to make sure that our hips are nice and level, and our pubic bone and our two hip bones forming that triangle. So it's fairly flat. Good. If you were to turn sideways on, you would see that the hip bone would align with the shoulder, so that your shoulder, you know, is in the right position and your pelvis sits nicely underneath your shoulders. So once you have those elements in place, we're now going to explore, and it does take a lot of practice to engage and center our deep abdominal pelvic muscles. So again, with your fingertips on your hips, I'd like you to walk your fingers in 2 inches and place your fingers down 2 inches on your, just underneath the bony part of your hip. Now with your next breath in, I want you to visualize a pelvic girdle. So imagining those points once again, your pubic bone and your hip bones, and also your tailbone behind you, drawing inwards and upwards. So this is the net, the pelvic net or the pelvic diamond. Now, it does take a lot of practice. If you find that you're bulging, your tummy shouldn't bulge over the top, so we want to make sure that that's not too strong a contraction, and you should be able to breathe normally without having to hold your breath. Another way of imagining this happening, or another scenario to help you engage those muscles, is to imagine you're walking into cold water, and as the cold water level rises, you can feel that pelvic net drawing up and away from the water line, keeping yourself away from that cold water for as long as possible. So there we have our key elements in Standing Pilates. Do practice them as much as you can, and get very well versed with the way that works best for you. So there is no right or wrong way, and it's quite an individual way to look at things and practice. Thank you for watching the video.